Hey guys, how's it going? Back again. Man, I've just had a mean feed of bacon and eggs. Lunchtime here in New Zealand. Bacon and eggs is, in my family, is good any time of the day. You know, had the mean sandwich with bacon, a couple of eggs, cheese, jalapenos. I love jalapenos. Nice and spicy. It's real good. Anyway, we're back again with the 026. Going to carry on. I did chuck the fuel tank on yesterday. That's literally 3 screws and pulling through the intake boot and plugging in the impulse line, so there's not a lot of detail there. I had a mate over yesterday and he was sort of busy with his kids while I was so I just did that because I was bored. When I was showing him my saws, and we had to play on the MS460 yesterday as well. He loves that saw. Yeah, he wants to do a similar thing to his. He's got an 044 and he wants to do a similar thing, like a full rebuild, ceramic bearings, everything like that to that saw, and hopefully we will do that. It'll be good if we can. It's just a matter, I think, of getting the funds together for him, and we'll probably do that, which would be great. Looks like I've got one person watching as we're streaming live. Hello, whoever you are. Feel free to make a comment. I'll try and keep an eye out for them as I build. Anyway, we'll get on with this. Okay. Right, just clear this out of the way. So as I said, I got the fuel tank on. There's 3 screws to do that. One goes in here, one goes in here, and one is up in here. Okay, so that is that. I'll just fit that on to keep it out of the way. Push that on for now. Alright, so where are we going to start? Start with probably some of the more busy stuff. As usual, I have not prepared anything, but that's always fun, isn't it? Sort of grinding your way through it, finding your way through it. Looking at putting the carb in. I think I'll do this. I think I'll do this rear part. So all the carb and everything in there. So there is the carb. This is actually a brand new carb. We thought the other carb was a bit suspect. It may not be. It may still be something to do with the ear leaks that we found on the saw. So yeah. That because if you remember from the previous videos, we discovered that ear leak on the PTO clutch side seal was sort of the end result of having tearing the saw down and discovering that ear leak. So yeah, I've just put that ring in there. See, onto the, I'll just move this fuel line out of the way. So that shiny ring in there, I'll just put that in. Okay, now there's another ring that goes in as well, and that helps everything just butt up to the flywheel. Oh, sorry, not the flywheel, but butt up. Yeah, can't even talk properly now. Butt up to the carb. Okay, and that ring is very important, and that just fits on the inside of your intake boot there. Okay, so you just press that in there. I always get that stuck on my finger, but it's staying there. Alright, and that needs to go on there a bit better than that. There we go. Let's click down now. that'll all seat nicely against the carb there. Alright, so now your carb can pretty much go on. The fuel line will go in under the way, and the impulse line down in here will just push into the carb. Okay, so I can do that now. I can just push the carb in. So this is the part on the fuel line of the carb that we're going to put the fuel line onto, and then this is the impulse line feed on the bottom of it here. It'll just literally just goes on and slides into that impulse. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. So I can just push that in now. Keeping that fuel line out of the way, and there is also the wires there as well. So you just want to make sure they're out of the way and everything just stays out of the way. All this carb just sliding in, and that's just all slid home really nicely. I'm just gonna grab my pliers now. Can you see that? That's pretty good there. Just gonna grab my pliers and just work that fuel line around until it's in there. I probably could have put that on. I usually actually put that on before so I'm making life hard for myself here, but that's nothing unusual. Nothing unusual for me. If you've already said hi, person who's watching, feel free to say it again. I might have missed it. So I'm concentrating on the saw as well. So that's fuel lines in there now, all ready to go. Pretty easy part of the saw. Now you got your throttle lever, and that's got to go on as well. I'm just going to find a few of the components for that. Alright, we've got that, and we need the screw. Where's it gone? There it is. It's a screw that holds the handle in. So it'll go in and sit like that, and this bit goes onto your carb. So I actually turn this around, and there's a inside there. Turn it around and just put it through the hole, find the hole in there, and I just how do I do this? Having a moment. That's right, there's the hole. Yeah, so I do. I push it in there, and then I sort of turn it around the carb like that, so that's fully hooked in there now. Sort of flick it around. Okay, just move this stuff back out of the way. Just back into the parts box there. Move that out of the way. Alright. So, now we've got to put all this together, and then it all has to meet up, marry up. And so that part of this is the operator presence lever, and you just can slide this little wire that's down here onto there. All right, and just bring the throttle up at the same time as you're doing that. So that, yeah, and then you can just click that throttle presence, that operator presence lever in, and then just chuck the throttle lever on, and just release the. Yeah, I keep a little bit of pressure on there while I'm doing this. Keep pressure up on the throttle lever. It stops the throttle cable sort of just popping out of there. Just going to pop this down like that. And that all goes down in the front, and you just sort of have to hold everything together while you're doing this. Okay, now just keep a firm grip on the back of it, and then chuck your screw in the bottom of the handle there. You can see it, hopefully. See that in the bottom of there? I'm not going to put the air filter on just yet. I'm just getting this side of the saw built back up, because often the carb side can be a bit finicky. That went together really well, probably because, to be honest, I have done an 026 assembly so many times now, it's not funny. Yeah, I have, because I've done my own saw. I've done this one so many times. My own saw in particular, no, it's this one in particular, because I had so much trouble with the other carb, and I've had this in and out, and so because you have to take this off when you want the carb out, I've done that so many times. So maybe I made it look easy, but it can be quite difficult. So I thought, hey, do that first. Anyway, we've got multiple things we can do. We could stick on the muffler. Let's do that. Let's find the muffler and get it back here. We've got a brand new gasket for that as well. Where is it? I did put it somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, I had a clean up in my workshop here, and I just put everything everywhere. Right, so you got your muffler. Here's your gasket. Now your gasket will see them raised side. You want that against the cylinder, okay? And that sits on the back of there like that. So I just hold that on there, and then I'll find my screws. Find my screws for that. Wherever they are. I think these are these ones. And I'll just chuck them. Sorry, I'll just chuck them in there while I'm holding that gasket on the back. Now, this is another thing that usually doesn't go to plan for me. Okay, and you're just aiming to line it up with those holes there. Now, this gasket hasn't been matched or anything like that. Oh, I got it up the wrong way. Helps if you have it up the right way as well. That does help, I've found, in general. So I'm just going to let all that rest there, and then I'm just going to sneak around with my T27 and just wind that one screw in, get that in, and then wind the other screw in. Okay, so I've got the gasket and everything secured now, as you can see, and so I just need to reach in and set these home. And they'll just find their own way in there. And you want to tighten these down fairly well, because you don't want exhaust escaping out your gasket. Okay, you want it going into the muffler where it should be. So I'm just really wrenching on those now. Not majorly, I'm not going all the way up to try and break stuff, but I just want to make sure they're on really tight and that gasket's doing its job, which it is. It's all pressed in there really nicely now. Okay, and then I'll just give this muffler front a bit of a wipe down. I can fit that up. up. We'll find a couple of screws for that. I think these are the ones. And they just go on the bottom. The whole front of these mufflers, they've got like a lip on the top there, and another lip up the top here, and it just sort of slides into it like that, and then clips down. Okay, and then you've got the screws either side down the bottom. So there's one there, and it wants to find its way. Hang on, I have to turn this around. There we go, that one's in. I mean, if you've gotten this far with a saw anyway, you should know how to screw your muffler together. You took it apart. Not that this screw won't start for me now. That's interesting. That's way down. I've got the screws not meeting up here. What I might have to do is loosen those muffler bolts off again, and I'll just chuck these bottom screws in. So, this hasn't happened to me on the saw before. I'm not too sure why the orientation has changed, but it seems to have lifted it a bit. Maybe the gasket is fatter than the one I had in there before, and it's just lifted it ever so slightly. That could be it. So I'm not meeting up, so I'm just gonna back off these screws. Okay, there's that one. And that one. And now they're loose. I'm just gonna get the screw that's the culprit and just put it in there. Okay, and then when I tighten these ones up, like that again, we shouldn't have any trouble with that happening again. Alright, now I can take that one out again, out of there, that bottom one. Clip the muffler back in again. Sorry if I've missed your comments on if you're watching. I'm just concentrating on the saw. Feel free to comment though, if you want to. If you feel inclined, or you're just happy watching, that's cool. Right. Okay. Just going to get my pliers onto this, lower this one down. This is the side that's slightly raised up. Just to get it in there to start it. T27 in there. Sorry if I'm not really doing a good job of getting this on camera, but it's a really finicky part. Hard to show from my camera point of view. Oh, you can see the screw going in down there. So that's getting that one on. Quite excited to have this up and running again, just because this saw's given me so much grief mechanically. I just like really want it to go well and just be the last I guess the last time I see it for a long time, you know, because I want it. I fix saws so they can be out doing work. And if they're not out doing work, then, you know, and I'm not fixing them properly, then that's not good. Right, so I'm just going to wind this side in now. How's it not going in? Just loosen off this other side, gone too far in. A bit of a knock in there. There we go. Is that not going in? Man, I don't remember having this much trouble with this muffler. It's definitely right there. Not wanting to play ball. This is the trouble about live streaming, like you can't edit anything out, eh? It's just there. And this is just not wanting to play ball this side anymore. Hey, man, you go, oh, it'll be easy to put the muffler on. Nope, not at all. So I got one side working. It could be, maybe this is a bit out of shape because it's had a smash in the front of it. But I'm sure I didn't have as much trouble last time with this. Seems a bit odd that I am having so much trouble with it. Right. Okay, so that one's in. I'll just on there. Something seriously weird going on there. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should move on to something else before. Okay, I'm going to have to loosen that. Those muffler bolts off again. That side seems to be the one that's up now. Okay. Alright. You got to be careful about this sort of stuff too, because like you don't want to put pressure on the cylinder via your muffler bolts and pull down, because it can create an air leak. Okay, so this time what I probably should have done in the first place is put both those bottom screws in and then tightened up these muffler bolts at the back here, so it lines them up properly. That's what I should have done in the first place. It just saved a lot of heartache. 2 watchers now. Hello to the second watcher who's just joined us. Feel free to say hello if you want. Man, we're going half an hour and we've done nothing. We've put the carb in and fiddled around with a muffler. It's pretty crazy, you know. Oh, it's Pinecone. Hey, Pinecone. Saying hello to my dad there. Must be Dad, must be the other watcher. Hi, Dad. So yeah, Steve, I'm working on your saw, buddy. It's going back together. Is it exciting? Do you like it? You get to watch me and how I fiddle around with things in here. You must have nothing to do. Must be pretty bored. Watching me play with the saw. Hopefully it works this time though, mate. Like, hopefully we come away from this just issue free, eh? That's what I'm really after. Perhaps we should have done that in the first place, just rebuild it, I don't know. Anyway, that's an aside now. We are here and we're getting on with building it. So, what are we going to play with now? Let's do the flywheel, eh? Let's do the flywheel. Let's show everyone how to do a flywheel. Well, how I do a flywheel anyway. Now I don't know if you remember the first video where I took everything apart and I was talking about how I store the flywheel key. And it's still here. Can you see that? Oh yeah, Dad and Steve have a nice talk now. It's still here on the flywheel. It's a safe place to keep it because that magnet just keeps it there. So, you know who is extremely bored and has nothing to do? It's you two guys, eh? You're watching me. Right. Let's find the, that must be the nut there for it. Okay. Let's put this on. Now, just grab my impact driver out. Again, I haven't got the air up and running because it makes a hurr of a noise in the video. So I just do this. And she's on. Flywheel on. See how that compression feels now. I haven't really had a play with it. It's got some nice compression, this saw. Oh yeah. That's the thing about this saw, Steve. It's got some really nice compression. I've started to do these live videos just about all the time now because I don't have to spend time editing them. I can just do it, you know, get into it, get some videos out there for people who are hopefully, you know, they're wanting to know how to do this sort of thing. So we'll put this magneto on now. We'll just get the business card, shove that in there. All right, like that. And then I just bring the magnets around to line up with that coil. It's not playing ball. There we go. And that sort of sticks that on in the right place with the right distance there. Push that all in there. And now we get a screw. Is it one of these? No, it's a bigger one. It's a bigger one. just these two. All right. These two screws with the washers on. There you go, one in there. Oh, we've got a third person watching. G'day, how's it going? 3 people with nothing to do on a Sunday. Yeah. Maybe 3 sore nuts? I know Dad and Steve are definitely sore nuts. I probably said before, but my dad's probably forgotten more than most people will ever know about 2-stroke engines, and I often ring him when I'm in a jam or want to know about something and go, hey Dad, what do you reckon about this? And he'll give me some sound advice on saws. Apart from that, it's just scourging YouTube, you know, to find out who's building what, who's come across problems before. There's also Arbosite and stuff like that, and really good info on there, some really amazing saw builders on there. So that's all done, that's your spacer, business card gone, that's all back in there, ready to raw. So that's your flywheel side done. Too easy. Okay, let's do the chain brake now. Flip it over again. So you've got a little tiny spring that goes in there. When I find it, is it that one? I think it's this one. Does anyone like it? And that just hooks under there, under this little component here, this little lever. And I always have trouble with it. I'll put it around that one first, and then put it in there. Okay, and that spring just goes like that. Now we need the chain brake handle there, and all the components for it. Where are we? Yeah, I'm trying to do a video every Sunday, Saturday now, with one or the other. We're at wherever it lands. I've got so much saw work that needs to be done now that I kind of have to either do something on a Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, that's just the way it seems to be going. Now, where did I put that little C clip? Where did I put? I had it before. There it is. So you got the little C clip. I'll just put that there. Probably not a good place to put it because I'll probably lose it. All right. So here's the chain brake setup. Chain brake. Now that just goes into this bit here, goes into that gap there and meets up inside that hole there, okay, for your chain brake. And that all slides down onto this post that I've got my finger by, okay. So I'll just do that now. Just do that now while I'm trying to keep that spring on there, because that lever will go in there as well. Slide everything on. And I have to put tension on that spring to get it down. There we go. There we go. And that goes in there. Is that right? Have I got it right? Yes, I think I do. Right. That all slides down. Ah, bugger. Just when you think you've got, you know, that right. It's not right. Right. There we go. So, and then the C clip. Oh, 2 viewers are gone. Must be just you now, Dad. Everyone else has gotten bored. Or it could be Steve watching us all go together. Maybe. Excited, Steve? Okay, that just clicks on there like that. And then you're ready to put your spring on. Spring here. That fits over this bit like that. Okay, and then you notice it's got quite a stretch to get out of there. So I just get a meaty big screwdriver and I just push it down into it. Alright, and I just move this lever back and just pull that spring onto there. Now why that is... Oh, sorry, I'll just push that forward if I can. Oh yeah, there we go. And put that spring onto there. Right, and that is your spring bait assembly, all done. Shouldn't really be doing this with the cover off really. They can just fly off. Ooh, yeah. So that is that. All done like that. Now we've just got to put the brake band in. Okay. So brake band, I'll just go on there like that. Just put it in there. Wiggle it around and down. And it just all fits in there like that. Too easy. Okay, now your... I'm just going to give this a wipe off, brush off. Then your brake cover can go fully on there, because that brake is now operational, and that's already got the 2 screws in it to use for that. I don't know if I'm going to get to starting this today. I don't know if I'm going to have time. We'll see. I would like to. Right. So that's on there. Next in line to go on these components is if I open up that brake band again, so that's released. Don't forget the worm gear. Well, it's not a worm gear, it's just a gear that powers the oiler and that spins off the clutch. So the clutch tightens down against that, wherever I've put that. New clutch. Right. And that's got a left-hand thread on and one's down. Just like that. And that will self-tighten. I don't really need to do anything with that, so that's fine. Got one of these big plastic things to put in here. And it got the thing for the thing. This is for the chain catcher. Right, and that goes in there. That goes in there. Turns around, fits in there, and one of these screws will go in there for the chain catcher. That is one of the plastic screws. Okay, you can see that coarser thread on there. And wind that down. Hey man, if you guys like my videos and want to see more, then help me out with the likes and the subscribes. Feel free to comment as well. Always enjoy getting comments and hearing from you guys out there, especially if you've got any questions on things or how to do things. Yeah. So anyway, yes, I'm just going to oil up, grease up this clutch flywheel bearing now. Get that on there. if you're the one still watching, Dad, that's that little grease gun that you gave me. This is so handy, mate. Thank you for that. Dad gave me a lot of tools for doing this sort of thing. You know, the Stihl T27 Torx drive, the Stihl 8mm hex drive, all those sort of things he gave me, and really appreciate those tools. They're nice tools to use, and they've helped me to just better develop my skills saw building, doing what I love. So that is that. That goes on there. So that was the rim sprocket going on and the keeper, and then that's just got a C-clip that goes on, and I just get my pliers, put that in the hole there inside the crank, into the crank there, and just pinch that on. It should just slide in there. There we go. And that is that. So where to from here? Just wind out this little screw, and we'll put the chain guard on to the saw there. It's an important little bit of it. There's a handle to go on, there's the dogs to go on. It's a little way to go yet. All the covers. But we're not far away from finished. Not too far away. So we've been going for about 41 minutes now, and I'm aiming for about an hour on this video, so I should probably stop talking as much and speed up a bit. Alright, dogs. There are 2 screws for that one and that one. So the dogs, the screw at the top's got an 8mm there that goes through it. That sits up there. What I do for this one is just grab my pliers, chuck it in the end there, like that, and then I just go around and down, round and down for the dogs. Got to put the dogs on too. And hold that in there, and then get my Torx, and that just goes into there like that. Just before I nip it up, put the other one down the bottom so it can still find its hole. I don't know if you guys have seen the meaty dogs on my 026, but I got these oversized ones for them, and yes, they're ridiculous. Are they cool? Hell yes, they're cool. Why are they cool? Because they're ridiculous. Love them. They just look so grunty. But these are just the standard size dogs here. Do they help me in any way? Not really. 026 doesn't really need dogs that size on it at all, really. So now we can put the starter cover on. Oh, let's put the handle on. Just put the handle on. Okay, so here's our handle. Right, it goes on like this. Just feed it over the top of the saw like that. And once again, it's got these big coarse threaded screws because they're going into plastic. So don't over tighten them at all, because they're not forgiving. You just want them just nipped up. You can feel them home. They're not going to go anywhere. You don't want to fully just rack them up, because you'll just strip out all the plastic and then you'll have a component that's stuffed. Okay, so those are the side ones going in there, and then it has 2 on the bottom. Alright, just in there. those ones. And they are all T27 torques as well. Just, I mean, everything's pretty much T27 torques on you. On these saws, on Stihls. Yeah, Huskies are all Allens. Same sort of size and threads and stuff for going into plastic and what have you. I know I just said a dirty word then, a dirty Husky word. But yeah, just trying to be informative as well, I guess. These saws are so simple compared to the new ones, just everything seems to be getting more and more complicated as everything gets more and more teched out. So that's the handle on, it's easy. Let's flip her around, put the starter cover on, bring it over here, just give it a quick wipe off. Steve's got a really nice badge on his cover there, really nice. Hey Steve, if you're still watching, your saw's just about ready, mate. Just got to start and tune it. You want to come pick it up? I'm just joking, don't come yet. I'm nowhere near ready. Got to tune it and everything. Cross my fingers as well, got to do that. All that sort of thing. The 4 screws in there, and notice that it's got that special big cut washer one on that one for the other side of the chain brake handle or lever. 4 these down. Don't tighten the crap out of everything, just want to nip it. It doesn't need massive tightening, it will stay there. It will stay. Right, that's about that for that. Right, top cover on the saw. Top cover on. Now the top cover is secured by this screw up here onto the top of the cylinder. And you just have to watch out when you're putting it down that you get all these wires out of the way, because this piece here will slide down in between them. The wires should sit on this side at the back of it, okay? And this is the cylinder side. So you just hold the wires back like that and put it on. And just make sure you haven't collected those wires. I'm just going to reach in there with my screwdriver just to pull them out of the way a bit. You don't want to jam them in there at all. And that should just then fit down there nicely, so that's in all its holes. And you can just grab your flathead, because this is a flathead one, and tighten down that top cover. Okay, now we're at the back. Air filter on. It's got these big captive screws, alright, and you can just put them in with a big flathead, and that'll hold everything on and together. So I'll just get my big flathead and put it on. So far, the only thing that's given me too much grief has been that muffler. And it's just because I was trying to really be lazy, I guess. Come on. Talk about things not giving you grief and stuff like that, and then there we go. I just had to push it on a bit more, hold it down, and then we'll wind them in. And they're home. And that'll hold the carb in. Press the carb up against those rings that we put in before previously. Okay. We're left with the back cover on. It just slides down over the top. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. Just slide down there. There we go. Right, there we go. Slide down there. Push this in. Push this knob at the back end. Turn, and that's it. There we have a fully rebuilt 026. I've got to put the bar on and everything and tune it. I'll do that off camera and I'll show you a video of it running beforehand. So just to set it up for the tune, I'm just going to reach in to the side there, and I'm just on the low screw there. I'm just going to go all the way home with it, and then I'm going to back it out of tune. Alright, so it's just one turn, and the same with the low, the same with the high screw, high mixture screw. So I'm just going to go back it out one, and because that's what it says there anyway on the thing. So I'm just going to wind this LA screw, this low E screw, which is adjust your idle. I'm just going to wind that in a bit. Okay, and we're fully rebuilt. So all that's left to do now is put that bar on, tune it properly. So I will take this air cover back off. I'll put my tacky on it. Use my tachometer. I'll put that on it. I'll make sure it's tuned to factory settings. So I think these are 2,500 RPM at idle, and or no, it's more than that. They are 3,500 RPM at idle. These, they're quite high idling, and they are around 14,500 RPM at the top, at the high end. So that's where they sit. I'm pretty sure that's right. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's close to being right. And so I'll just do that, and yeah. So that is that. We're all done here now. I'm just getting you down. Woo. So that is the part 4 of building the 026, and we're just about on an hour now. I might come back today if I've got some time, if everything with this saw works out, and I'll show you the video of it running and perhaps cutting. We'll go there, and it's been an absolute joy sort of journeying through this saw. Hopefully I've got it right this time and we can move on from it, and Steve gets a really good run out of it. Yeah, so I'm a happy chappy, and I'm going to say Stihl for life, and we'll see you later. Bye.